And with me now for more on the verdict in the Chauvin case is Bishop Garland Hunt. He's an attorney and senior pastor of the Father's House in Atlanta. By the way, he's also the co-founder of One Race, an organization promoting racial reconciliation. And he has written a new book, Crisis in America, A Christian Response. Bishop Hunt, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast today. What's your response to the verdict?
Well, first of all, glad to be here. I want to just say that I certainly am concerned about our nation right now, very much so, because we do need racial healing in our nation. With this verdict, I do believe it's a step toward justice, but I do think also in this case, a lot of times the political spectrums try to use this situation and a very unfortunate incident to feed certain political narratives. This is not an incident that we need to rejoice at the incident because we mourn on both sides. We need a vigilant, protective law enforcement. But at the same time, we also know we need to pray for our young black men on the streets. But more importantly, the church has to demonstrate something different. The church has a model, racial reconciliation and healing. So I really am concerned at what the core crisis is in our nation with the need for racial reconciliation and healing.
Bishop Hunt, to that very point, as you heard, George Floyd's family called the outcome a pivotal moment for racial justice in America. Do you agree?
Yes, I do, but I just want to say that the issues are much greater. Certainly with this one incident, I do believe in this particular incident that justice has been served. A jury of Derek Chauvin's peers has made a decision. And I think that is appropriate. But in the context of this, I'm more concerned right now as a pastor and as a lawyer that our criminal justice system needs to have systems that are positive toward fairness and protection, as well as far as the black-white concerns of our nation. The church must step in and really begin to pray, even more so for our nation, that we can have heal this open wound. We need more racial reconciliation and healing in our nation. I think the cry right now is that, yes, this situation was good, and I rejoice in any time the criminal justice system works appropriately. But more appropriately, we still have an open wound in our country that needs to be healed.
How do we address that open wound? I mean, clearly this is going on, has been going on. We've had too many of these situations and circumstances that happens almost on a weekly, daily basis sometimes. How do we address this gaping wound in our society?
Well, I think there are two things that we have to consider here. Number one is that we have to stop and try to politicize the situation so much that in our politics, we're not concerned about the facts, we're not concerned about our situations. We need to look and see that we all need to be vulnerable in this. No sides are innocent. In other words, law enforcement needs to be reformed, of course, but it's not going to be just by law or regulation. The heart of our nation needs to change toward one another. There needs to be more sensitivity and compassion, even in law enforcement, with fair and protective services and policing. But it still needs to be justice and fairness as it approaches the white young men or black young men, in either way. And also, black young men need to, at the same time, not hate the police or demonize the police. But we have to understand that there has to be some sense of compassion one toward another. But the broader issue, again, is the church. How does the church respond, and what's a Christian response in this? And one is prayer. Number two, there's a demonstration. The church must demonstrate racial unity, racial oneness, racial healing. If the church leads the way, the country will follow. So this is very important right now to demonstrate a different model for our nation.
Right, and it is that model that will, I think you will agree, bring lasting peace to our nation, and more importantly, lasting peace to the hearts and minds of people around the country. Bishop Garland, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on the broadcast.
Thank you very much, George.